Okay, now for this lesson, we're going to look at a couple special cases of how some things can be written, and then we are going to also look at how to kind of do the opposite of what we've been doing, like how to find the equation of a line when it's graphed. All right, so for the first part of this, we have two equations written here. We have y equals 5 and we have 2y equals 1. Now, hopefully you notice that this doesn't have an x term. All right, so what that means is it means that both of these, if there is no x term, all right, then that means you have a slope of 0. And a slope of 0 is going to give you a flat line, because if you think about it, a slope of 0 means it has no slope, and if it has no slope, it has to be a flat line, right, going from left to right. It has to be a horizontal line. All right, so for the first one, you have y equals 5. So so if you think of this as y equals 0x plus 5, which would be your b, right? So that would be, this would be my slope, and then 5 would be my y-intercept, so I would color code that yellow, keeping with how we've been doing this. So that means I'm going to go up to 5. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go up. I'm going to put a point up there. But if I have 0 slope, it just means that you have this straight line going through it like that, that is parallel to the x-axis. And another way to think about this is if y is equal to 5, that means that no matter what you put in for x, y is 5. And so you have all these different points that lie on this line that you can put anything in you want for x, but y is always going to be 5. And so that just gives you that straight line that winds up having no slope. All right, 3b, same thing. The one thing we do need to do with this one is we need to get it written in the proper form. Okay, so you'll notice it's close, but it has to be y equals mx plus b, and we have 2y, so we got to deal with that too. So we're going to take 2y equals 1, and we're going to divide both sides by 2. And the reason we do that is because we want that coefficient to be 1. And so you get y equals 1/2. All right, so that works. And if I rewrite this in my y equals mx plus b form, I have y equals 0x because there is no x, and then plus 1/2. So this is going to be the same kind of thing as the last problem, where we're going to go over to 1/2 on the graph. We're going to plot a line, and then we're going to have a flat line, horizontal line, that's even with the x-axis. So no matter what the x value is, your y value is always 1/2. Okay? So if you can think about it like this, that when you don't see an x term, if you can think of it as your slope of the line being 0, then that kind of makes it make a little more sense. All right? So that's how those work. And then we're going to look at an example of how we write an equation in slope-intercept form when they give us a graph. So this one says, which of the following is an equation, and then it gives you 4 options. So I think the easiest way to do this is, rather than looking at the options, let's just look at the graph. All right? First of all, let's find our y-intercept by highlighting where it crosses the y-axis. So this is the y-axis right here, which means that this point right here is where it crosses, all right? So my y-intercept is 1. All right, so that means b is 1 because b is my y-intercept. Now all we got to do is find our slope. So what you do when you want to find your slope is you pick 2 points that you know lie on the line that are clean points that you can find a slope from. So if I follow this line down, it looks like about right here I get a nice clean point. Okay, and then if I figure out my slope, you got one of 2 ways to do it. The easiest way is just to do a little slope triangle, right? And then realize that it's rise over run. So from left to right, this is going down, so it's a rise of -1. It goes down 1. And then it looks like it goes over 3. So my slope, m, is equal to -1/3. Now the other way you could find this is you could actually write these as points. You could say this is the point 0, 1. you could say this is the 0.30, and then just do your 1 minus 0 for your y's. I did this one minus this one, right? This one minus this one, and then do 0 minus 3 for your x, and then you get 1 over negative 3, which also gives you negative 1/3. So both will work. I think it's a lot faster to do the triangle in this case, but if you're not secure with that, that's fine. And so now, if I'm putting it in the form y equals mx plus b, I would go y equals, my m is negative 1/3, put your x in, and then your plus b is plus 1. And so I'm going to go look at all these and find the one that matches that, and that would be letter C, right? Okay, you try, and then come back and we'll see how you did. Okay, let's do this one. Kind of similar. First thing I recognize when I look at this one is this thing has a positive slope. All right, there's a positive slope. Second thing I notice right away is where its y-intercept is. So its y-intercept is negative 1. So if I look at my answers over here, my y-intercept on this one's 4 and this one is 4. So I know it's not going to be D or B. All right, so it's either A or C. So let's figure out what my slope is. Well, if you realize that it crosses at negative 1, the next point it gets that's really a good clean point is the 0.40, right, when it crosses the x-axis. So I have 0, negative 1, and I have the 0.40. If I find my slope from those, I would do 0 minus negative 1, because I'm doing this one first. So 0 minus negative 1 over 4 minus 0. So that gives me 1, because 0 minus minus is plus, so it's plus 1. And then 4 minus 0 is 4. So I have a slope of 1/4. And that would make this A. So that looks good. All right, I hope this is starting to make some sense to you guys. Good luck with these. This is a pretty foundational concept. So I would highly recommend getting some help on this if you're feeling confused.